Hello and welcome to the International Pentagon Challenge. My name is Kyanite and together we'll be embarking on a very special Football Manager journey where we'll aim to try and win every major international competition in all 5 continents, forcing our hand to play with hundreds of different types of players and most importantly hopefully create loads of awesome different types of tactics along the way. Once that's complete, only then are we allowed to set our sights on the biggest of all goals, the FIFA World Cup. How many nations will we have to manage until we work our way to the top? How many dodgy names will we have to pronounce along the way? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Okay, hello everyone, welcome to episode 55 of the International Pentagon Challenge. Now, in the last episode, we of course beat Congo 2-0 in our second of the 2023 World Cup qualifiers. We then had a friendly, ironically, against Morocco where we drew 1-1. We were at home. We probably just about edged it, but a draw was a fair result. And to be honest, what an equalising goal it really was from Ashraf. Once it loads, you'll see that, in a way, we were kind of unfortunate to concede this goal, but at the same time, Morocco did fight well to get themselves back into the game, and a strike like that in the 87th minute, there's not much we could have done about it defensively. But as we know, Morocco are a very good side. We then had a few more friendlies. We had a 2-2 draw against Nigeria. I mean, you can just look at the stats. We were incredibly wasteful. We had 3 clear-cut chances to their 1. It was a good performance against, again, one of the better sides within the continent. I was just kind of disappointed that we conceded 2 sloppy goals, but it was a friendly. Obviously, we were experimenting with the odd thing here and there, so it's not really the end of the world because the performance was all right. Next up was a great win against a nation that are naturally our rivals, and as you can see from the match stats, we didn't play magnificently. Like, we played better against Morocco and Nigeria, who are more difficult opposition, but in this case we took our chances and found a way to win 4-0. It did take a few tweaks here and there in terms of changing things around in the second half to actually get the breakthrough, but we did in the end, and yeah, good, solid win. Last but not least, the final of our friendlies prior to the African Cup of Nations was a game against Ghana. At home, Ghana, again, another one of these top sides within the continent, and from my perspective, I wanted to make sure that we played friendlies against strong sides in the continent just so that I could get a rough idea, not just how they play, because as we know, my scouts are dreadful, but just to see really where we lie, because you don't really benefit from playing against poorer opposition, and in this case it was a decent 1-1 draw against Ghana. We did go 1-0 down, but the lads showed character, and yeah, we got a decent draw against Ghana. And obviously in friendlies like this, like I said before, certain star players are in other kind of more important games, so their club managers only let you play in for 45 minutes and whatnot, and you can probably see that from some of the lads we had playing. It's just about finding that kind of right mixture of players that we know we want to go into the African Cup of Nations with as our kind of favoured starting lineup. And talking about the African Cup of Nations, it's funny that we actually played Morocco a few months ago, because we now obviously have them again. Just a reminder, actually not a reminder, because we didn't actually take a look at this in the previous episode. So now you can take a look at our African Cup of Nations group. So we are in Group B. We've got Burkina Faso, Morocco and Zambia. So really on paper we should at least be finishing first or second within the group. And really, with our first game being against Morocco, and given that each team plays each other only once within the group stages, a win against Morocco would probably leave us in the driving seat to finish top of the group. A loss would probably leave us in the driving seat to finish second in the group. And a draw would basically mean that we'd have to not only beat Burkina Faso and Zambia, but also beat them by quite a few goals, because chances are Morocco are going to beat them as well, and it'll end up coming down to goal difference or goals scored or whatever silly rules they have at the African Cup of Nations. And I seem to remember dodgy rules actually being a thing in the African Cup of Nations when we managed Angola. And when I say dodgy rules, I mean rather than going straight off goal difference, I think it used to go off goals scored. No, okay, okay. It's goals difference in the African Cup of Nations. I think I could be thinking about one of the Asian Cups with Japan or North Korea or someone like that. But without further ado, let's take on Morocco. Okay, so given that I kind of played Morocco in a friendly, I've got a rough idea how they're really going to be looking to play. Long story short, 4-2-3-1, inside forward on the left-hand side, winger in Ashraf on the right-hand side, big target man up front. Really, really worried about this guy, 194 centimetres. It really depends, you know, on which side of the kind of scale his attributes end up being, but he does look really, really good. And a 22-year-old Moroccan kind of playing for Fiorentina suggests that he is going to be pretty good as well. Scoring goals in Serie A, so yeah, he's you know, a decent player. Okay, as for us, we are missing a key player. I honestly cannot remember his name. The right winger who we usually play with. So Hani is going to come in instead. And, you know, he's getting on a bit, 33 years old, but I don't think it's the end of the world, simply because he's more a fullback by trade. And I think up against a team like Morocco, where a lot of their attacks are going to be coming down the wings, I think it will kind of help us to have a slightly more defensive-minded player playing as a right winger. We want to attack them down their left anyways through Adil Ramzi, and one of the main reasons behind that is because El Amri and Ashraf are going to be quite forward-thinking for them, and it means that there is going to be a lot of space left to exploit down that side. And they have Ubila at centre-back, who plays for Casablanca, so I assume, as you can see, we don't know much about him. I assume he's not going to be the greatest of defenders versus El Mutaraji, who plays for AC Milan. So, you know, we want to put most of our emphasis down that left-hand side. So that really suits us fine. Tweaking tactically, as we always do, really, we're just going to look to exploit the left flank a little bit more. I'm not sure about our defensive line just yet. I'm going to leave it on normal for now. It really depends on the pace that big guy up front has. They still have kind of pacey players running in from the wingers and the guy playing just off the striker as well. So, you know, there's no need to rush things coming into the game early on. And obviously we've changed our shape to more of a 4-1-4-1 with both kind of fullback / wing backs now on support to try and solidify up against the wingers of the opposition. And Ramsey is going to be on attack. And we'll just really, you know, see where that takes us, try and emphasise our attacks down the left-hand side. Abdurraouf as a inverted wing-back should hopefully as well do a good job against their inside forward, who's going to be looking to cut inside. Here we go then. So I can't quite remember what country we're in. I think we're in South Africa or Nigeria. Or maybe the Ivory Coast. I've got no idea, but the point is, it is another African Cup of Nations for us. Obviously, last time round, it left a bit of a sour taste in our mouth on the back of what happened with Angola, where the build-up was great, but then the actual performance at the event wasn't probably as good as it really should have been. But here we go. We're now managing Egypt, and let's see whether or not we can put a decent shift in and win it. That way we can defeat, obviously, Africa as a continent. So there we go then. Shauki to Siam finds Kamal, who again is kind of like a centre-back by trade, but can also play as a defensive midfielder, which is good for us. He should be able to just sit in front of the back too and help up against the use of Morocco's target man. But we do have to make sure we do win a lot of second balls, because this is a very direct Morocco side. So Ramsey running at his fullback somehow manages to keep the ball, tries to whip it in, and early on, just under 5 minutes in, we've won our first corner of the game, but it gets cleared by Ashraf. Abdurraouf to Yahya, can shoot from here, and it's a solid save from Omari. And even though we've really had the more clear-cut chances this early on, we've not managed to hit the back of the net. So far, despite it being on comprehensive, we've not really seen as much as we may have wanted to. But this is a chance for Ramsey to switch play. Hani now, decent crosser of the ball towards the back post. And why is Ramsey trying to head that ball in? Oh, what a chance that was there. It was a great ball from Ramsey. Yeah, we are on comprehensive highlights. Someone in the previous episode mentioned in the comments what camera I use. These are the settings I use. So sideline camera with a bit more zoom. Oh my god, I can't believe we didn't find the back of the net there. And it does seem like It's one of them games where we're not seeing much of the ball, but in terms of comprehensive highlights, we've done well to create most of the chances. Arab is going to go deep to try and play the ball back towards the rest of the Moroccan players, but he's not able to. Ashraf to Rabbas, who's their playmaker. Amri picks the ball up. On the overlap is the wing back, but a bit of dodgy goalkeeping it looked like there from our goalkeeper. So I think it's the first time he might have actually touched the ball so far this game, at least based on what we've seen in terms of highlights. So yeah, a bit of a dodgy touch, but hopefully he'll wake up. Can Shawky tackle Dik Tak and maybe look to counter-attack? Just realised that rhymes for the win. We know Ashraf has a good shot on him. Okay, I'm not entirely happy with what I've seen so far, but I do feel like we have room to start playing the offside trap and push up a bit further. We'll increase our width a little bit as well and see where that takes us. So we're approaching the half-hour mark now. It's a great header from Abderraouf, and Saeed now needs to hold the ball up and find runners. Shawky with the ball towards Ramsey. Can he cross the ball in towards Hani? He can, but it's another wonderful save from that man between the sticks for the Moroccans again in the form of Omari. Ramsey will cross the ball back in, and that same man again in the form of Omari picks the ball up. So it does look like we are going to struggle today to beat the big man between the sticks for the Moroccans. But we've been counter-attacking really well. Saeed to Yahya, who shoots, and it's a poor shot on goal. Superb football from Saeed, but not the best of finishes from the Mezzala, who made the late run into the box. And really, so far, our game plan has worked pretty well. We've been counter-attacking well. Morocco have certainly been throwing more men forwards than they did against us when we had our friendly. But really, in terms of game plan and getting Ramsey on the ball down that left-hand side as much as possible, that has certainly been working. There's another chance there from another cross coming in from our left-back in the form of Siam this time. But we've just not really managed to put the ball past the goalkeeper, which is our main issue at the moment. And there's another shot from Saeed and another good save from Omari. Kind of feels like one of them scenarios again where we've not really done much wrong. The game plan has worked pretty well. Kamal should have held onto the ball there trying to win it back. But the problem is, against opposition like Morocco, if you don't score yourself, it doesn't really matter to them if they have a bang average game, because they will, because of the sheer amount of quality that they possess, eventually get an opportunity to score themselves, and they will find the back of the net. Oh, finish it! Oh! How have we not scored there? It looked like it hit the underside of the bar, bounced on the line, and then it was basically... Oh, God. How unlucky is that? We had 2 clear-cut chances, guys, this first half, and I can't quite believe it. Yeah, Adil Ramsey is one of our best performers. Hussein Saeed has kind of struggled, so I think... I mean, it says he struggled, but I've been happy with what I've seen so far from him. So I really want to make sure that I tell the lads I'm not happy with what I've seen so far. Now it kind of feels like the ball is in the court of the Moroccans. I want to see what they do to try and change this around, because I'm really pleased with what we've seen. I do feel like we've lacked width down the right-hand side, but it doesn't bother me too much because, again, Hani's been given specific man-marking instructions to deal with their inside forwards. We've got an inverted wing-back down that side. So we're trying to remain tight down that side, which we know they're going to look to attack from, and then attack them from the other side, essentially, which is where we think we can exploit their weaknesses. Good tackle from Kamel, wins the ball back in midfield. Abderraouf with a free kick, and we've hit the back of the net, but apparently Kamel was offside. So yeah, that was disappointing. But match stats wise, it is all white, the white colour of the Pharaohs. Ramsey to Siam, finds Abderraouf. Yahya is in, plays the ball to Shawky. Ramsey shoots, and it's another superb save from Omari in the Moroccan goal. Can we get a shot now from outside of the box? Off, and maybe, just maybe, the force a shot on target. Saeed shoots, and, well, as the commentator says, he can't get it on target. So, it's one of them games, and we have had quite a few of these, games where we dominate, have loads of chances on goal, but just can't quite find the end product with Egypt, unfortunately. I am tempted to maybe consider changing Saeed up front from a poacher into a complete forward, just a small tweak like that, and see whether that helps us kind of get some of the wide players into play a little bit more. Yeah, we'll wait and see. And while Schalke's had a good game, I think it's important for us to keep fresh legs on, especially in the middle of the park. So now the question is, we have quite a wide array in terms of the styles of players we can play centrally. So we've got Farouk, who's really more of a fullback but can play centre mid. There's more of a defensive style player, or we can go for a more creative player or more experienced player in the form of Nedved, who can potentially come on and play more as kind of like a ball winner. Now, looking at the dynamics, it seems like Nedved isn't a big fan of me at the moment, so I'm not going to bring him on. I mean, we could sacrifice that player as well and go for a second striker, but I don't feel like we need to force the win against Morocco here. So I'm happy to take a point, because it doesn't really feel like Morocco are going to grab a goal. They might do, but I don't want to make a more attacking change and then end up regretting it, because it's been a good performance all round. So what I am going to do is, we got 15 vision, 12 passing on him. So I'm not going to bring on a second striker, but I am going to go for a creative player to play as Zamazala. Now, this lad in particular on the left will have more risky passes on, enabled. So, we'll see. We'll see whether or not that helps us kind of open things up a little bit. I think once we start approaching the last 20 minutes or so, we could perhaps take retained possession off and go a little bit more gung-ho while still really maintaining what we're looking to do. So Ramsey is going to once again take on his fullback. He does cross the ball into the box, and Saeed just couldn't get enough power on it there, it looked like. And he once again. And the Moroccans are very, very narrow here. And it makes you wonder. Oh, go on. Go on. Head it in. Oh, no, I thought that was a goal because the substitutions came down. I thought that was a goal. Okay, they brought on someone fresh. Yusuf Ben Nasser plays for Al Ahly. Used to play for Lyon, so, okay. Looks just more like a defensive player, just to give him that kind of bit of stability. They're quite narrow. They're quite narrow now, the Moroccans. So, we're going to change Abderraouf onto a fullback support, just so he can try and maybe sit a little bit wider. Hani has decent defensive traits, so I think we can afford to do that, because we are trying to defend down this flank. And I think one more tweak I'll do is move Ramsey a bit further forward. And it's just a case, really, of whether we want to take Saeed off, because he's not had the best luck in front of goal. Islam Saber is just recovering from an injury, a sprained ankle, and I'm not sure I want to risk him this early on in the tournament, because he could end up being an important player for us, a bit of a super sub for us, as we know. So what do we want to do? What I'm going to do is bring on Karim Nedved as a ball-winning midfielder, fresh legs there, just to protect the back four. And it's a difficult one, because Hani's had a good game. I'm going to wait until the last 15 minutes and then bring on Hassan up front instead of Saeed, and try and play him more as, well, we'll leave him as a poacher, but try and go a little bit more direct ourselves, because he has a lot of pace that we can, I think, look to exploit. So here we go. Ramsey plays the ball towards Saeed, but yeah, that did look offside, and he had loads of room to run into there. So it was a tiny bit wasteful. And I think we are going to make these changes now. We've really not seen much, it has to be said, from the Moroccans so far this game. It's just a shame that we can't really put the icing on the cake. So we're going to remove retain possession. We'll obviously naturally become a little bit more direct now. And hopefully, we can start getting balls forward towards Hassan. I'll change Ramadan's role to be a bit more of an advanced playmaker on support, see if that makes a bit of a difference. They're bringing on a young striker now, so we potentially might have less to worry about defensively, you would think. But again, I am still a little bit paranoid that this could end up being one of them games where we've been the better team and all it takes is one little moment of magic from Morocco to find a goal, which they almost did there. So Yahya with the free kick is going to shoot, and it goes just wide of the target. So demand more from the lads. Last few minutes of the game, really. We've made all our substitutions. Fresh legs coming on in Sabiri to play just off the main striker for Morocco. Ramsey, play this short to Ramadan. That's what I want to see, but that misplaced pass was not what I wanted to see. And the highlight goes Ramadan back to Kamel, who finds Siam out on the left-hand side. Needs to float the ball in. Ramsey shoots. Should have maybe played the ball across the goal, but we do win a corner nonetheless. Towards the head of Kamel, and it clears the crossbar. And how have we not scored a goal this game? We should be at least 1-0 up this game. That was a chance and a half from Kamel. He is such a key player for us at the near post sometimes from them kind of outswinging corners, but he just can't find the back of the net a lot of the time. We have one more chance on goal. Gets caught by Omari, who's probably really the Morocco's best player. And we are unfortunately going to walk away from this first game of the African Cup of Nations with only a 0-0. But I think, in terms of our team talk, we'll tell the lads we're not happy with what we've seen. But deep down, 7.8 for their goalkeeper, 9 shots saved. But deep down, we know that this was a really good, really positive performance. And if we keep playing like this against Burkina Faso and Zambia, I can see us winning by 2-3 goals, which will boost our goal difference up and, carry that form into the next round. So, it's not the end of the world. We'll calmly tell the lads we're not happy with what we've seen. And unfortunately, not the best of results. But as the journalist says, we need to build on the draw because we've had quite a few draws recently against these kind of top sides. And I hate to say it, but part of it is mainly down to injuries and players not being available in certain friendlies. And Saeed maybe not being as on form as he maybe was when we first took over as manager of Egypt. But that is going to be it for this episode. Apologies that... Obviously, this episode's been uploaded a little bit delayed, but as we know in real life, the Champions League games kind of happened, and as you've probably realised by now, I was kind of working on some tactical analysis videos of the Liverpool-Man City Champions League game, and there's a big chance I'm going to release a Juventus-Real Madrid one as well, so it is really difficult to kind of balance the videos I'm working on. But to be fair, the International Pentagon Challenge has been uploaded consistently for so long now that I'm sure you guys can forgive me. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Next game coming up will be our game against Burkina Faso, and it will be the next episode. See you next time.